Hello, welcome to Up to Speed Live. I'm Diana Alvear. So happy to have you here with me. And tomorrow is World Mental Health Day. And boy, are we really talking about mental health these days. We all need a little bit more of it. It's really especially important to check in with ourselves and say, how are we doing? So we've got some really great stories as well as resources for you in this show. But first, we're going to start with some news updates. And we are monitoring Delta's landfall and effects. Of course, Verizon is hard at work. We're ensuring that our customers stay connected. Starting today, we are offering our consumer and small business customers in Louisiana and Texas in the path of the storm unlimited calling, texting, and data through the 15th. And our teams, of course, are prepared to get everyone back up and running as soon as it is safe. So we will be on the ground making sure that people are taken care of. And if you do need this relief, be aware it starts today and ends on the 15th. And of course, we know that reliable communications are absolutely vital for first responders. And this week, we announced Push to Talk Responders, which enhances the communications for them, enabling them to communicate across agencies, driving much more effective collaboration and situational awareness, all much better when it comes to them responding effectively. So really great update there. We've also got a lot going on with 5G. Verizon Business rolling out its latest 5G innovation hub at the University of Illinois Research Park. Not only that, Power of 5G is headed to the New Jersey Devils and the Prudential Center. And finally, we're going to be working with Cisco to create a safer in-person experience at these stadiums, arenas, and in-person events. That means we're going to be using our combined technology. Check this out. This is so cool. We're going to be estimating wait times associated with bathrooms and concession stands, and also managing crowd flow through digital signage. So always working hard at work to keep everybody safe. Let's talk a little bit about Hans. Has been really busy this week. On Wednesday, he led a panel discussion on racial equality as part of a series with the U.S. Conference of Mayors that included Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, and it was a remarkable conversation, as is anything that he's a part of. If you missed it, have no fear. The replay is available on the Verizon LinkedIn page. And next Wednesday, they're going to continue the conversation. But this time it's about businesses and mayors working together to deliver more equitable health outcomes. That is next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. All right, so let's get back to mental health. I post about this all the time on LinkedIn because I think it's something that we need to empower each other to be a little bit more open about. Lots of people stressed out, those working parents, especially the single parents. So we decided that we were going to take that Inside Verizon LinkedIn page and make it all about mental health. So let's see that first slide. You're going to see some very personal takes on it, including yours truly talking about being a stressed working mom. You've got Dave Berger talking about the power of laughter, and our beloved Erin Christoph talking about her 5-point positivity plan. We also have mental health lessons from a V-teamer's journey to sobriety, and I explore why it's so hard for Black men to get therapy. I sat down with Reginald Howard, an extraordinary young man with Black Men Heal out of Philadelphia, and we talk about his transformation from suicide survivor to educator.
I was so pressured becoming a father, and I didn't have my dad in my life. I didn't have any money. I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything going on for myself in that moment. I was like, I can't take care of this kid. Like, I don't have the tools to take care of him. And so I text a few of my friends and close family members, take care of my son. I don't want to be here anymore. And fortunately, one of my friends got me off of a bridge that I found myself on. And then I started doing mental health reading, learning. Because when I seen these commercials of, are you depressed? Do you feel like you have anxiety? They don't look like me. And so if they don't look like me, I don't feel like I'm going through any of those things. And so I learned now that I had suicide attempts. I learned now that I was probably depressed. I learned now that I was having anxiety about becoming a father. Before I got into Black Men Heal, that was my first time getting therapy. I didn't even know these terms of depression, anxiety, trauma, suicide ideation, any of these things before I actually started getting into the mental health field. I always say the Black community and the mental health community has two different languages, and I try to be that voice to merge them together.
Oh my goodness. We talked for a while, and there's an extended interview on that Inside Verizon LinkedIn page that you can take a look at. And he was so kind and so caring. And one of the biggest takeaways I took from our conversation is how he is now breaking that chain of depression and anxiety and empowering his son to feel his feelings, to feel his emotions, and to, be healthy mentally, emotionally, and otherwise. So check out all of these things on the Inside Verizon page on LinkedIn. I promise you it is worth it. It is also National Coming Out Day this Sunday, always a fabulous, wonderful day for everybody involved. And we have amazing, cool social cards. Check these out. These were created by Prism, our LGBTQ plus ERG, and you can download them from VZ Web in the street, fill them out, and then post them to your socials. And it's just a really fun and beautiful way to highlight awareness and celebrate coming out. We also have a very special story from our producer, Jess Bernardi. I cried watching this, so grab the Kleenex, about one mom's journey.
My name is Deborah Frazier, and I just celebrated my 25th anniversary with Verizon. I have 4 children. I was a single mother for 10 years. I had a little bit of a rough city life childhood. I had friends in town that weren't in my situation. And so I was exposed to, okay, this is what life is supposed to be like. That helped me to, carve my way, because I had this vision of how I wanted it to be for my kids. And so my whole life, even since I was a child, what was your dream job? And it was to be a mother. I wanted a little girl so I could probably, have a do-over for me as well. I never have girls, even though that's all I wanted. So when I had the ultrasound, they said that it was a girl, and I did not believe that. My little girl was born, and we had a family of 3 boys and 1 girl up until Oliver went to middle school. Oliver didn't realize that he was transgender until he hit puberty. Most children know when they're younger. Oliver went through a period of time where he was undecided, and so what he would do was every morning when he got up, he would write on the door, so that when we came in to wake him up in the morning, it would say, today I feel like a boy, today I feel like a girl. So boy or girl would be written on the door. I just said to Oliver, if you want to be he, it's okay. You don't have to be undecided. And that was it. I guess right after he made that decision, he texted me one day, and he said to me, if I was born a boy today, not when I was little, but when I was today, what would you name me? And I said, oh, probably Oliver. I like the name Oliver. And there's the name. He was Oliver. My thoughts went immediately to love was the first one. And then I started thinking about, myself missing out on, being the mother of the bride, or maybe passing on my wedding gown, or, and just how much fun I was having with a daughter. I immediately roped that in. I made the decision to be behind my child 100%. And we live in a pretty conservative state. What does that look like? Is my child going to be comfortable? Is my child going to be able to find love in the world? I just wanted him to be happy, to be alive, and to be able to go out into the world and do things that he wants to do and not have to defend his existence. I don't have to ask that one question, right? Is this a betrayal to Oliver? And I know the answer. So one year I said, all right, that's it. I'm going to take all the kids to the Pride Parade. We drove into Boston and we marched in the Pride Parade, and I'm probably going to end up having tears because some of the kids weren't even accepted by their own families. And they were like floating down the street, people high-fiving them, hugging them, telling them how great they were. While I was there that first year, I saw the Verizon people with the Verizon shirts on, and I said, oh, how great would it be if I could get a corporation behind these kids and have them really feel like part of a group. So I reached out to Globe. We walked the next year with Globe, and I met the New England chapter leader there. And then a couple of months later, he reached out to me and said, hey, would you like to be a chapter lead? And I said, yeah, heck yeah, I would. We're all part of one big community. And so, yeah, Verizon's been fantastic. We know that they win awards for diversity and inclusion, and that shows up at work every day. That's not just something that they talk about on a commercial. It's real. It's really there. Another thing that Verizon has done, which I am so appreciative of, is the volunteer platform. And one of the community projects that we can work with is the Trevor Project. Trevor Project is a suicide prevention organization. To those kids, I say, there's a huge community of people who love you and accept you and will help you be who you are and still be okay. I'm so proud that this company does have the same values that I have as a person. Evolution is what's keeping us sturdy in these times where other companies are not so sturdy. We're willing to change with the times.
Is that a beautiful story or what? And it makes me think back to my best friend in high school came out to me, and it was a huge deal at the time. You know, he felt like he had to keep it secret. He was afraid of what people were going to say. And I just feel like we've come so far, and it's because of parents like her that our kids are safer and more loved. So thank you so much, Jess, for that beautiful, beautiful story. Okay, we're not done, and I promise I'm not going to cry. We have another double header, as I love to do. We've got the My Whys and the Me Studios. First, we're going to start with My Why, and you're going to be meeting Xavier White. When he is not solving a Rubik's Cube in seconds, he is squarely focused on corporate social responsibility. Let's meet Xavier.
Hi, I'm Xavier White, Corporate Social Responsibility and Innovation Marketing Manager for Verizon. I've worked for Verizon for pretty much 3 years. Most of my life is focused around London and the south of the United Kingdom. I like playing guitar, engaging in politics, traveling, but at the moment my favorite thing to do is make contemporary art pieces, pieces that involve technology in some way, and I've just started entering those into competitions. When I was 17, I founded an LGBT rights and education charitable organisation. And then when I went to university, I realised that if I wanted to make videos for my charity, I needed to have background music, and ended up helping with the European management of a teen pop artist based out of New York. Then I graduated with an MA and started working at Verizon. I really love media and I love technology, and I joined right at the time that Verizon was expanding its media portfolio. So the opportunity for me to work in a company that fused my two passions really, really excited me. I really love my job, and I kind of have the millennial dream job where you work somewhere that makes you happy, you enjoy the company of your colleagues, you love your office, and you have a role that lets you make a difference in the world. One was working with my manager on the first international event for 5G that Verizon did. I'm proud of my newly launched CSR-themed podcast series called Chamber Breakers. It's co-hosted with Liana Brended, who's head of Yahoo Finance UK. We give a platform to communities that are often overlooked in the business world. And finally, I'm proud of all the skills-based volunteering that the UK's been doing to support small charities struggling at this time. I'm excited to see how my career will develop. I'd love to keep doing something related to CSR and to marketing, but get more and more senior doing that. Also think Hans has a really, really cool job, and I would perhaps love to do that one day. So my hidden talent is probably that I can solve a Rubik's Cube in about 45 seconds, and also that I taught myself to cut hair from YouTube. Not something I can demonstrate right now, but I am sporting my own work. There's so many things at Verizon that make it so much more than a job. The launch of Citizen Verizon, the volunteer program, there's a testament to that. You're encouraged to bring your whole self to work. I'm openly gay, and I can talk about my partner just as much as my heterosexual colleagues can talk about theirs. Leaders also seek reverse mentors to teach them about topics such as intersectionality and the future of work. That's the kind of company that I want to work for.
Okay, so clearly we're all going to be working for Xavier at some point. He's unbelievably talented and has all these different facets to his personality. So even though you're across the pond, Xavier, I feel like I already know you and that we're friends. I feel the same way about this next V-teamer that you're going to meet. He is part of the Me Studio segments that we've been doing to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. And let me tell you something, as soon as he and I got on the phone with each other, I said, you are my new hermanito, my little brother. Let's meet Mr. Colombia.
Hi, I'm Christopher Sebastian Estrada Ballesteros. I'm a sales solution specialist at the Lady Lake Verizon in Florida. As you can see, I'm super proud of being Colombian. I have La Pulsera, so my bracelet. Typical thing, I think every Colombian in the exterior has some sort of bracelet that they carry. And then I also have Colombia tattooed with some Cattleya orchids, because that's like our orchid, and I love it. I love that it's exposed on my arm, because people are like, oh, what's that? I get that opportunity to be like, hey, this is Colombia, this is where I'm from, let me tell you about it. I was born in Pereira, which is about 4 hours from Medellin. Me coming here was really just my parents. Me at the age of 12, they were like, hey, we're going to Florida, we're going to the United States. And I was like, okay, I'm 12, so let's go. It was an experience having to learn English, having to make new friends on top of not knowing how to speak to these new friends I'm trying to make. I lost a lot of my Colombian-ness on the way. My parents have passed away. My mom worked at a retirement home as a laundry lady, and my dad mowed lawns for people. They taught me to always be genuine. They taught me to be the best version of me I can. A lot of the stuff that I do to make sure that I make my parents proud. It's less important for me to be liked by people as it is to make sure that I'm doing right by my parents. I went to Colombia for 6 months back in 2018, and I came back super Colombian. Like, if you had a cape, like I have the flag, I always have the flag. There's one in every room in my house. In Colombia, I went to a Colombia versus France game, met a bar full of strangers. Colombia won, we celebrated, we all went out dancing. Like salsa, cumbia, vallenato, all that. I was given the opportunity to work at Verizon through a friend of mine who was moving, so he was leaving the store, and he told me to go ahead and apply. And I said yes. I met my management team. Now that they have a Spanish-speaking person in the store, we get more Spanish speakers coming in. They're always like, hey, I heard there's a guy who speaks Spanish in here. Yeah, I get called El Parcero. I had a woman from Georgia come in because she was in town specifically to see me, because she was told by her friend, hey, there's a Colombian at the store, he speaks Spanish, he's very helpful, go see him. And I'm jamming out, and I'm kind of just like this, and sometimes customers are like, hey, are you listening to Joy Arroyo? And I'm like, yes, I am. And I've even danced with customers in the store pre-COVID. It's been a good time. Businesses are always like, hey, we have an open door policy. But Verizon is the first company that I've worked for that's been legitimately an open door policy. And then on top of that, the way that Verizon handled COVID was crazy to me. Verizon took care of us. And that to me has become a major thing. I want to be more involved in Latin American community outreach for Verizon. That's what I want. I want to be able to say, hey, ven pa Verizon, que aquí estamos la cultura, tenemos todo. And that's what I want. Some source of Latin American outreach. I have a whole clothing brand. It's called Orgullo. It's just like O with the outline of Colombia in the O, and most of the profits now have gone to Habitat for Humanity in Colombia. Man, I can't think of a single thing about being Latino que no me gusta. It's between going out, dancing, being able to dance, teaching my friends to dance, the food, la bandeja paisa, la bandeja paisa. Haga cosas que te haga contento.
And what Chris just said there was do the things that bring you joy. And clearly he is a living example of that. Chris, I'm so proud of you. Soy tu hermana. And I love my mi historias. It makes me feel so proud to be Latina. Hey, before I go, I want to make sure that we recognize yet another community that we love here at Verizon. Check this out. Look at this beanie. It is branded with the check mark. And we also have here this jacket. This awesome camo jacket. Okay, so this is all part of our Verizon branded military collection with Call for Fire, and it benefits charities including Mission 22, 4Block, Semper Canine, and Wounded Warrior Project. And believe this, we've raised $58,000 so far. You can choose from vests, V-necks, long sleeve tees, and more. It looks so good. I'm not wearing it because it would be kind of weird for me to be wearing that jacket inside, but trust me, it looks really good. You can order today from shopcallforfire.com and just click on the Verizon link. Okay, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And really, that mental health day, take some time for yourself. We're all so stressed out. And really, all you need to do is just admit that these are really tough times and it's not easy, but we have each other. Reach out. If you need anything, just reach out to me. I'm happy to say hi. So thank you so much for spending time with us today. Check out all of the amazing things that we mentioned on our Inside Verizon LinkedIn page and otherwise. I am Diana Alvear. Thank you so much for hanging with me. And until next time, you're up to speed.